Assalamu alaikum.
Namaste.
你好
Hello.
We are
Team
Troutwood.
and we are working with the company Troutwood.
And today we'll talk about our experience with the studio project at MSE.
So to start off, the company that we're working with is called Troutwood. It's a fintech company that aims to democratize financial planning for everyone and empower its users in making financial decisions. But while Troutwood is this one-stop shop that combines everything about the financial world to one platform, there still remains some problems in it, such as the idea of financial jargon or financial terminology that not a lot of people tend to understand. It tends to confuse them or overwhelm them. And on top of it, people might have a hard time in understanding what market trends look like, what the stock information really tells them about how they should make an investment, which is why we are working on this project. So our project consists of 3 features. The first feature is going to tackle the problem of simplifying financial insights, which is essentially trying to decompose the financial language for the people. So it can be, giving explanations to what the terms are or giving brief summaries of what different components can look like. Of course, this is all powered through AI. The second and the biggest feature that we're working on is going to be an interactive conversational AI experience. So we're building this chatbot which will interact with people, help them understand anything about the financial world, essentially. The third feature that we're working on is essentially for the visual learners, let's say, which is technically going to target at creating or generating charts and graphs from all of the financial information so that people can understand what those trends look like, and if they have to make an investment, they can using that information. So I think that overall brings me to the goal of our project, which is to provide an overall AI-powered tool to the Troutwood customers that can help them achieve good financial insights and make sound investments for their future.
Today, I'm going to talk about how our team managed the project timelines and milestones. Now, this is a constantly evolving and iterative process. We had a high-level plan in the beginning of the semester. Now, naturally, that didn't really work out exactly as we thought it would. Jira was a crucial tool for us here. It allowed high-level requirements to be tracked as epics and granular tasks as stories. Constant data tracking of our earned value, burn-down charts, and our effort distribution helped us analyze how true to the plan we were. Sprint retrospectives allowed us to look back and identify what part of our process worked and what needed to change. Now, with every semester, the plan changed slightly, and the process improved a little. And this allowed us to ensure that we stayed true to our milestones. Lastly, having a risk register really helped us to know what would be our contingency plan in case something did fail. We had a major technical change in the middle of our project, but since we had factored buffer time for exactly such scenarios, we were able to pivot and deliver on time. To summarize, have a plan. It won't work as is, but if you keep one eye on what has happened and the other on what is going to happen, you'll be all right.
Coming to the part of collaboration with our mentors and clients, we have regular checkups with our mentors every week and come to the client almost every week with a new update. Mentors and clients both have been very helpful to us in terms of getting us on track to the project and ensuring that we hit every deadline before it happens. One of the few things that I have learned in this project is how to keep the quality of the project high while also maintaining the requirements that the client has given. Another very important thing that I think all of us as a team have learned is how to really get ambiguous statements of functional requirements into the system in a way that is desirable by the client, how to actually verify that process and really be able to bring out something from the project, an outcome that is really significant to all the stakeholders around you.
So in our studio project, we had the opportunity to explore and apply state-of-the-art technology. We experimented with GPT, Claude, and Llama using the latest large language models through the OpenAI SDK. We also used specialized embedding models like the FinBERT for financial data and MIDI-LM for semantic understanding. Our system is fully cloud-based on AWS, following a serverless architecture. We use Lambda functions for compute and WebSocket API gateway for real-time communication. So for data storage, we chose PostgreSQL with the PG vector extension, which supports advanced vector similarity search. We manage our infrastructure using AWS CDK, AWS Amplify, and GitHub for CI/CD. Studio Project gave us access to modern tech stack. It ensures scalability, reliability, and performance for our AI application. So thanks to the support from our client Troutwood and our mentors, we could push technological boundaries while staying focused on practical solutions.
Coming to the future directions that we are going to take with this project, or at least what we hope this project will come out of, is the fact that it will go global. The project has a lot of potential to give a very easy learning curve to users from all across the world. People can really access the financial world very easily through this, and I hope it sets a stage for that. Another thing that I would like from this project to come out is it being more interactive in nature. Currently, we have a chatbot interface in which we are able to give answers personalized to the users, but they would be really more enhanced with a lot of other operations that an agent can do, and this is a really exciting field that is popping up now. Finally, I think we can also make more personalized recommendations based on the user. Currently, we don't really have any information about where a person is asking the question to the chatbot, but as and when we store that data also and start working on that, we will be able to provide much more comprehensive information to the user based on our understanding of what they need. So I hope we are able to go through these directions in the future with the project.
We wanted to talk about some of the technical challenges that we faced as a team. To start off, I think one of the biggest challenges that we faced as a team was definitely drilling down the requirements for the project, because it's a year-long project. It takes a lot of iterations and trying to drill down what exactly the stakeholder needs. So this was an ever-evolving process, you could say. And with the ever-evolving process, I think we had ever-evolving requirements. I think that was one of the biggest challenges we had to face. Initially we had come up with some requirements such as usability and then accuracy and performance as being the biggest ones. But as we started building the project, we started understanding that there's more to it. And there were other requirements such as cost that became much more prominent than we had initially assessed. So we had to work around that a lot and come up with some solutions to go about it. So we can discuss those as well. Does anyone want to pitch in about what we did to kind of resolve it?
Yeah, I think I would just like to say it was a lot of discussions. It was a constant interaction with the clients and our mentors both, just to get an understanding of what actually the ambiguity of the problem is and where the root crux of the situation lies. And then just trying to understand how the client actually wants to get their thing done, something that they haven't really been able to put up. But I think that as software engineers, it is a part of our job to do that. So, anything you'd like to say?
Yeah. So I think constant iteration, frequent communication with the stakeholders was definitely the key to resolving this problem. And there were other things that we had to face as well, such as trying to identify knowledge sources, and that's something I think Aditya can elaborate more on.
Yeah, so since we were working for development of a chatbot that helps every user understand some financial jargon in place and just give them a better learning curve. Since we all know for a new beginner who is getting into the world of finance, it is very difficult to understand how exactly things work in this world. What we are trying to develop is a kind of an agent that allows the user to get that information in as a simplified information as possible. And for that, we try to integrate different kinds of knowledge sources with the agent. The information is all out there. It is just how you present it makes the difference to the user. And that is the challenge that we face. We have tried to use all the architectural principles that we have learned in our cohort to get the integration of new knowledge sources and new data sources in the platform as easily as possible, so that we give a more comprehensive answer as and when we identify new sources. So I think that was one big challenge. Kshitij might also be able to elaborate a bit on how we comprehensively describe some very highly comprehensive data sources.
So as Aditya was mentioning about the data sources, one of the data sources we have was this data provider called FMP, and turns out there's a lot of data that they give you. And one of the biggest challenges was to just comprehensively understand all of that, really figure out what do we really want to do with this data. And so there was a lot of decisions to be made in terms of how much do we fetch live to be able to answer the user's query, how much do we store beforehand, and then at the end of the day, there were cost considerations, design considerations when it comes to the database. How do you index the data that you store itself? How do you partition the database? And so these key decisions became very important, and very early on, once we really made them, really helped us understand the kind of data we have available and how do we end up answering the user's query with like the most accurate information possible.
So one of the key technical challenges I faced was integrating our AI chat system seamlessly into the financial data visualization platform. This requires establishing a stable connection, managing messages queues, and ensuring real-time and reliable user interactions. We designed and implemented a dedicated WebSocket service to manage connection states and message processing, along with automatic error recovery and reconnection mechanism. So on the front end, we use React content to manage the global state of the chart maintainability and scalability of the application.